Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. And today's video, I am ranking all the power switch locations in Call of Duty Zombies from worst to best. And as a heads up, by the way, when I'm referring to the power, I'm referring to the old power switch, the one with the zombie hand on it. That is the only power I'm going to be ranking throughout this video. I'm not going to be ranking things like the Origins generators or the Mob of the Dead afterlife locations. That would be a separate thing. This is just going to be just the traditional, you turn the switch on and the power activates the entire map basically. And I'm also only going to be ranking these in the games that I personally play. So this is going to be all the Treyarch games except for Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3. So this is going to include World at War all the way to Black Ops Cold War. And if I miss a power switch in any of the maps, just feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to correct the mistake. If you guys end up enjoying the video, please by the end drop a like to show your support, subscribe if you are new, and if there's a particular thing you guys want me to rank in the future for Call of Duty Zombies, just let me know via the comments down below. But yeah guys, let's now rank all the power switch locations in COD Zombies. Okay, so starting off the video with what I deem as the worst possible power switch in all the Call of Duty Zombies, this is going to be the one from Transit, because fuck Transit. A power switch is supposed to be simple within COD Zombies, and Transit was just way too ambitious for its own good, because I do not like this power switch whatsoever. It takes me, on average, because I play Transit so infrequently, about a half an hour to a half an hour plus to end up just turning on the power to the goddamn map. It's an annoying task. When you boot up a game, you have to run out of the bus depot area, you have to then either get on the bus or run through the fog, and God forbid if you run through the fog because the denizens are going to destroy you, and they are also annoying in their own regard. And then let's say that you finally end up getting to where you need to go. Oops, you don't even necessarily get every feature of the power. When you turn on power, it doesn't mean that you can end up doing things like Pack-a-Punch. No. That's a separate thing altogether. You will need a turbine, which you had to hopefully have built in the spawn before you got to the power station, because if you didn't, you're fucked. And what you have to do is you have to place the turbine in a random part of the power station, and then hope to God it doesn't break while you run all the way over to the bank and end up unlocking that, and then you can do things such as Pack-a-Punch. Insufferable would be an understatement to describe anything about Transit, because everything about it is tedious and complicated as hell. It is my least favorite power within the game, and it takes me way too goddamn long to get set up. Now coming in at the next spot here, this is going to be Blood of the Dead, but technically it's only going to be one of the power switches in Blood of the Dead, because believe it or not, if you never played Black Ops 4 or Blood of the Dead specifically, there is multiple power switches. So I'm going to be showing you my least favorite of the two. This is going to be the one that is located near the dock area. This is going to end up being the one that's where you can end up disabling the electrified door if you went into Afterlife mode back in Mob of the Dead, and it's like right here. And as you guys can see, it's very difficult to see where this thing is. It's technically one of many power switches, but the other ones are already just flipped up, and you have to get that one in the corner. It's very annoying how that this is located in, number one, this particular spot of the map, because you have to go through the catwalk, then you also have to go down the spiral staircase, and you also have to go in a room which should be technically lit up already, but it's impossible to see in there despite the flashing lights. Now next is going to be a tie between 5 from Black Ops 1 and Classified from Black Ops 4, because they have literally the exact same power switch location for the map. I do not like this area because it's claustrophobic as hell. I would much rather prefer to end up being in the upstairs areas, because those areas have a lot more room, unlike this one where you just turn around a corner and you immediately get shoved into a tight corridor and might get surrounded by zombies almost immediately. Next in my list is Alpha Omega, or basically Nuketown, because this power switch is located right near the Nuketown sign, and I feel like if Nuketown from Black Ops 2 did have a power switch, this is also where it would be. But regardless, I think that this area is not necessarily the best, even though you will never really go back there unless you want to end up turning on the power switch the first time around or using a teleporter over there. I just don't care for the fact that it's just in a tight-ass area. All of Nuketown / Alpha Omega is a tight-ass area, and I wish that the power switch would have been more conveniently placed like another Black Ops 4 map, which we'll talk about later. Next is Shangri-La, which also, funnily enough, has 2 power switches, but they're literally right next to each other, so I'm just going to link them together here. But yes, the Shangri-La power switches are not my favorite. They're a little bit better than some of the other maps we've talked about thus far. I just don't really particularly care for the fact that they're so far underneath of the ground. I wish that the power switch would have been a little bit more above the ground, because once again, I just don't like this claustrophobic area. Next on my list, I end up having Moon from Black Ops 1. Now, I'm a little bit more used to Moon than I am to Shang, so I personally prefer this power switch location over Shang's. The Moon power switch is in a claustrophobic area, yes, but you do have the advantage of anti-gravity, which can kind of allow you to get around hordes of zombies when you normally would not be able to in these claustrophobic areas, so you can just end up exosuiting above them if you wish. Although you should take that advice with a grain of salt, because that sometimes can also get you killed in certain instances, because the gravity in Black Ops 1 is kind of funky at times. Next on the list is going to be Mauer or Toten from Cold War, which is kind of funny how that Cold War only ends up having one map with a traditional power switch. But the way that the power switch works in this map is not like the traditional power switch exactly, because there's a mini side quest, rather, to this power switch. What happens is that the moment you turn it on, it's not going to work, it's actually going to end up breaking, and you then have to look for fuses by killing Tempest zombies. You have to kill 2 of them, and then bring back those fuses, and then you can finally turn on the power. And because basically you're spoon-fed in Cold War, it's not really that hard to do this. There's hints everywhere that tell you exactly what you need to do and where to go. I just don't end up liking having it where the game is purposely trying to stall me, though. Rather than giving me an unnecessary side quest, I'd rather just end up flicking on the power switch once and then just go back upstairs. This is something that I don't want a part of my gameplay loop. Next is the power switch for Call of the Dead, or the second one for Tagged or Toten in Black Ops 4, because all you really gotta do is just go up the ship in Call of the Dead. And the nice thing about this power switch is that it's not too far across the map, it's relatively close to the spawn. Next is the power switch from Fier. Really, my only gripe with this one is that it's a little bit far away, because you got to get about halfway through the map before you can finally turn on the power, but once you do unlock a lot of roomy spaces to run through and train, and you can get things going like the Pack-a-Punch, for example. It won't be fully complete, but you can at least get it started. Next is Garad Krovi from Black Ops 3. 2 things I really like about this area is that, number 1, this area is really roomy, and you can use this as a great spot to train/camp, but also 2 is that this is also how you end up conveniently getting to Pack-a-Punch, or also having an area to even bail out of, because you can just call down the dragon and have him just sit with you upstairs, and if you want to, you can just sit there and just wait for you to get overwhelmed or run out of ammo, and then just bail, and then circle all the way back from spawn back to here again, and just keep rinsing and repeating that cycle, and you'll pretty much never die. I now have Ascension from Black Ops 1, which is literally just a few feet upstairs from you from the spawn. You will spawn in, go up like 2 or 3 staircases, and then immediately power is on. Plus also you conveniently have the mystery box always here, so you can also get a mystery box gun and get your gameplay loop started. Circling back to Blood of the Dead now, this is going to end up being the other Blood of the Dead power switch, which is going to be much easier to get to than the other one that's near the docks. This one's going to be in the brand new area, well, not necessarily new anymore, but at least new for what it was at the time. This area, which is just outside of Richtofen's laboratory, and once you turn it on, it's plain and simple, and you can get going. Plus also, this area is a lot more spacious and easier to see the power switch, which I like. Next is going to end up being the power switch from Verrückt. 2 things I like about this power switch location is, number 1, the mystery box is always going to be here, and number 2 is that since the World at War maps were very simplistic and relatively small maps, you can get here extremely fast in comparison to some of the other maps. Next is going to be the power switch in Kindred der Toten. This one's just a classic. It's conveniently placed. The moment that you activate it, you're immediately able to start setting up for both Pack-a-Punch and your perks, and by then you're already going to have a mystery box, most likely. So what you can do is you can just get your mystery box gun, go over to the Pack-a-Punch your gun, come back downstairs, and then buy Juggernog, and then just start training on the catwalk where the power switch already is. So pretty much in one single movement, as soon as you end up turning on the power switch, you immediately can get the most important perk in the game, Pack-a-Punch your guns, and have the best training spot in the entire map. Next is going to be the power switch for both Der Riese in World at War and the Giant in Black Ops 3. This power switch has got the mystery box just right beside it, and even though technically, unlike Kino, it's not necessarily the best training or camping area here, literally the main area that you want to end up being at is just behind that door behind me, so as soon as you open that door, you're pretty much set up once again. Now, because I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Die Rise, I typically end up overlooking the good aspects of Die Rise. And one of the things that I never really thought about was how convenient the power switch is in this map, because literally from spawn, all you gotta do is just fall down the elevator shaft and then open up one singular door, and then immediately power is on for the entire map. It takes you less than a couple of seconds. Next on the list is going to be Buried, because literally this is going to take me less than like 30 seconds here. I'm just going to jump down from the spawn, build the Remington wall by, and then I'm just going to sprint all the way over to the candy store, go upstairs, turn on the power, bada bing bada boom, the entire map's power is now on. This is a ridiculously easy power switch to complete. This is so easy that it's probably, without thinking too hard about it, honestly as easy, if not easier, than it is to end up turning on the power in Cold War Zombies. This power switch is noob friendly, extremely convenient if you just want to relax, and it makes it so that way games fly by extremely quickly. And for the number one spot, this is going to be the first power switch you end up seeing in Tagged or Totem, because, well, it's literally in the spawn. It's just a few feet in front of you, and immediately you can end up turning on part of the map. I wish it was this convenient in Alpha Omega. But yeah, guys, that is it here for today's video, and I do truly hope you guys ended up enjoying it. If you did, please consider dropping a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and all that beautiful stuff. And once again, if there is a particular thing you guys want to see me rank next time within COD Zombies, just let me know via the comment section down below. But I hope you guys end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most unique YouTubers are ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the Eternal God Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!